can hold up the pieces.
Okay.
So, and let's see if we can talk a little bit about the, is it going yet?
It's going.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to put together your video. What we have right here is our backdrop for our characters, and we have our self-portraits that we've made. This one's missing an arm because that's actually a moving part. So I have that in pieces here so that I can move the arm to make it, to give it an action. So you can see how this is in pieces, and that's okay. We also have some speech bubbles that are going to happen here. These speech bubbles grow, so I made multiples and made them get larger so that we have the illusion of those getting larger as the frames go on. So then I also have another version of a mouth for this self-portrait, so that it can appear as though she's talking. You can also do blinking eyes or other features of the face moving as well.
The ball.
Oh, we have the ball.
The ball is very important because the ball is going to sail from the one player across. The goal is to get the ball to come up and across and into the hoop. And his arm needs to be able to flow with the direction in which he would shoot the ball, which is why that needs to move.
So we have a plan in place for how the characters are going to move, what's going to move in the frame. So the ball is going to move here, and after the basket makes it to the hoop, this figure is going to come up, and I'm going to have the speech bubble come out and her mouth moving to show that. So now we're just going to get things ready for the first few frames and start taking pictures.
Now on my iPad, I'm going to open up my iMotion app, and I'm just going to click New Movie. And I have a choice here for how frequently the pictures are being taken, and I'm going to select Manual because otherwise it goes rather fast, and I would like for Ms. Richotte to have enough time to get in and physically move the ball before I take the next picture. So then I will just click Start, and what I see is a grid on the screen. And so what's very important is that we line up the figure so that our movie and our motion is not jumpy. So we want to keep it lined up, and so what will happen after the first picture is that you will see a shadow of the figure, and you want to make sure you line that up. So I'm going to stand while Ms. Richotte, I'm actually going to get a wide angle view so we can fit the hoop in.
So you've turned the iPad
I've turned it sideways, and I'm going to...
I think whatever your frame is going to be consistent throughout, so we have to sort of
So we have to keep it very, very still. And I'm actually, Mr. Richotte, can you move him in a little bit just so I can get the whole outline of the guy here? I don't want him chopped off. All right. That's perfect. So once it's lined up and ready to go, I will click Capture to take the first picture. And then I will see that shadow come about. So it's going to start to look a little blurry. You have to still, the person holding the iPad needs to remain very, very still. And Ms. Richotte is making some movements there.
I'm only making a small adjustment. We want to have lots of frames and just a little bit of change between each frame.
Okay, I'm going to snap the next one, but I'm making sure my lines are very lined up here.
And I'm making sure my hands are out of the way before she snaps this picture. When I hear the click, then I know that I can go in and make another movement. And I'm only moving at about ½ an inch, maybe a centimeter at a time. There's going to be a lot of photos here. I want to make it look like he's pushing that arm right up. The ball's still in his hand.
And when you're snapping the picture, make sure that your partner's hand is out of the way before you take the picture. Otherwise, you'll get a shadow. Again, I'm taking a minute to just line it up.
I think we kind of moved over here to this table because of the position of the light coming in through the windows. We wanted to make sure we had good lighting. And I think you want to probably consider that too. How does the light look in your image? And do you need to find a different position or shoot from a different angle to get good lighting?
I've taken 12 so far,
Okay.
so it's still going.
And I'm still just moving in very small increments. That's going to make it look like it's a fluid movement when we put it all together into one video.
It's hard to hold this iPad so steady, so if you do have to take a break, it will show you that outline so you can get it lined back up, but it is tricky if you step away from it to get back to where you were.
I think that it helps to be really prepared. I have all my pieces ready over here so that she doesn't have to move when I start introducing those parts.
It's almost there.
Did we leave the basket in the room? Or do we
Remember,
let it come
I
down?
think it can come down.
Okay, so now I'm gonna introduce the figure.
Okay. So if I were to take my iPad away, I still have a little bit of a shadow, so I can come back if I need to kind of rest my arms for a second. I can still come back and line that up really nice. And I'm lining that up with the figure and with the lines on the basketball court are helping me do this. Okay, here we go again.
Hold on. Gonna bring the ball down and I'm bringing this figure up at the same time. I'm also gonna make a little adjustment and bring his arm back down because I think after you shoot, you would probably bring your arm back down. So I'm moving 3 different things here between each snap of the camera. And she's aware of that plan too, so she's waiting until I've done all those things. She's kind of keeping track of that as well. We're kind of trying to really focus in on this and not be distracted by anything else. Sorry, I'm moving a little bit.
That's okay. I feel like I'm starting to move this iPad a little bit too. It's very hard to keep it steady for such a long time.
I'm gonna have the ball bounce and I'm gonna move her up.
Oops.
Okay, did it come out okay?
I think so. Okay.
And now I'm gonna start with the speech bubble. Starts off small, maybe 2 or 3 frames of that.
Yep.
Wait, I'll move the ball though. You can do it again,
Yep. There we go.
and then again. And now I'm gonna make the speech bubble get bigger, and I'm gonna continue moving the ball. And now I'm gonna add the speech bubble that has words, and since this is the talking part, her mouth is gonna open.
That lined up there. Okay. If it isn't
I'm gonna
lined
take,
up.
well, I think we should take another frame with the mouth still open.
Okay.
I think it also, it moves, because it moves really fast. Maybe
Okay.
one more. Wait, oh,
Oh,
sorry.
it's Richotte's hand.
And
Okay.
that can be edited out, right?
It can,
But you
yes.
don't wanna have so many mistakes that you have a ton of editing to do. Maybe 2? Hold on. And the ball came right back to him.
Isn't that nice how that
How
happened?
convenient.
Okay.
Maybe another closed mouth 1 or 2.
Now, if this iPad, if lining it up, it does get kind of tricky the longer you're doing it, so your arms get tired. But if you are off ever so slightly, it's not a big deal. But if you are off, I'm gonna take one more. If you're off by a lot, it will cause it to jump around when it plays back. So, now that I've taken all of my pictures, I'm going to click stop. It says stop capture. Tap again to confirm. And then it gives a little preview. Okay, let's see if we can watch it. Can we see it? There goes the ball. Here she comes. So it's kind of lopsided when you're looking at it here. To figure out a way to get this the right direction it's going to turn. We'll put this up on the, yep, you can see the ball sail across. And we'll put this on the smart board to show you guys the final product, since you can't really see it on here. So after that, I'm going to make sure that I export it into my photo library. And so what that does is it copies it all to the photo library. The video will then be stored.
59 images.
So that's how many pictures that took. I took 59 frames in order to just make the ball go into the hoop and for her to come up and say 3 points. So now this is in my photo library, which I just went to again. If I were to open up my photos and look for it, here's my animation.
Oh, so it puts it all together.
It will put it
one.
all together. It made
Nice.
the animated video and then it exported it. Now, we'll be playing with some of the details of that afterwards. There's some things with speed that you can do. If I go back to my iMotion, okay, and I find it, let's find it. Where is it? Here it is. So I can play a little bit with the speed in which that ball is going.
That toggle.
Yeah, by sliding this here. There are also, that's about all you can do in iMotion, fast or slow, but we are going to be exporting this into iMovie where we can make some, we're going to possibly add music, voiceover. So, but in the stop motion, it's going to put it all together for you into the video, and then you're going to export it to your photo library all in one video. So, pretty simple after you get the pictures. The key is just keeping the iPad very still and capturing those frames. And you can see, as it's playing, the speed in which these frames are going all the way to 59. So that's how quickly this is moving through 59 different frames, which is kind of cool.
That's cool.